Hi, my name is Samantha Duran, and today I will be discussing a program that I decided to pick for my project, which is called the Heart of Los Angeles. So before I go into discussing my program, I kind of wanted to highlight the current issues that our youth face in our society today. For instance, digital life. There is a large influx of social media in our generation today, and it has developed behind the scene communication, which can potentially lead to a lack of social skills as well as social cues. Um, and mental health, which is a large factor that is a problem within our teens, um, due to a lot of teens developing depression and anxiety, as well as eating disorders. And a large majority of these disorders are caused by the use of social media, as well as bullying. And the three peer pressures I wanted to go over is sexual activity, drug use, and alcohol use. All these are pressured by other teens in an act to try to be cool and try to fit the popular norm, I guess one would say. And other issues include obesity as well as academic issues. Academic issues can mean lack of motivation for going to school or doing their homework, etc. For this next slide, I wanted to specifically illustrate issues youth of color face in our society today, as well as in the criminal justice system. And for this slide, I will be referencing Module 1. So for instance, people of color face systematic discrimination. This can heavily be seen within the different interactions between people of color with law enforcement, as well as the stigma of minorities as criminals and victims of crimes. There's a large overrepresentation of people of color as criminals, which is typically generated by social media and films, books, etc. There is a large representation where people of color are characterized with certain characteristics and stereotypes. There are also racial profiling and discrimination that are heavily caused by law enforcement, all due to the color of one's skin. Lastly, lack of opportunities can be generated by invalid resources, economic poverty, and to reference chapter 2 and 3, internalized racism, which can illustrate a repeat of history as well as aids to the stigma that every person of color is bad, or whatever that stigma may be to that person. For the program I decided to pick is called the Heart of Los Angeles. For this program, the mission is to provide youth located in South Central Los Angeles with opportunities to empower themselves and help further their education. This program helps assist youth through providing free programs in a nurturing environment and provides programs such as college prep, STEM, sports, and arts programs. I decided to pick this program and specifically kind of focus in South Central LA due to my parents' upbringing there and them stating that if it wasn't for these programs and the immersive environments, then they wouldn't be who they are today. So who is HOLA? What does it serve? How is it funded? And what are the pros and cons of this program? So basically, HOLA serves the youth of South Central Los Angeles by empowering young adolescents through positive bonding activities that steer them away from committing crime. And to transition to the funding is largely funded by public support and partnerships within community organizations. HOLA is considered a 501c3, which basically stands for a charitable organization that relies heavily on public support. It has over 60 plus donors, including some such as Fox Sports News, Los Angeles Lakers Youth Foundation, and lastly, LA County Department of Probation. It also operates on a $7+ million salary annually. So what are the pros and cons of this program? So the pros consist of free activities for the community, as well as programs that are provided in local schools as partnerships, and lastly, summer programs. With the pros also comes the cons. Due to a large array of activities, there does come the issue of invalid transportation. Many of these families are working constantly and are on a check-to-check basis, so they're unable to take their child to these activities due to having to be able to attend their work. There also is a large issue of lack of advertisement. Although HOLA is a pretty well-known program in South Central Los Angeles, it does fail to reach out to those who may not have the platforms that HOLA is advertising on. So that is a big con for this program. So the outcome of these rehabilitative programs, such as HOLA, or just programs in general that help youth kind of steer away from committing crime, youth develop positive mindsets from these programs, develop a sense of empowerment, as well as they are introduced to a large amount of opportunities within their community. Lastly, to kind of transition into reform recommendations for youth in our criminal justice society, after analyzing the programs such as HOLA, I think that a viable implementation of programs that guide youth to positive academic success and positive socialization. So for instance, to reference youth.gov, adolescents' brains are still immature, which means that they're more sensitive to external influences and have less ability to make fair judgments, which basically means that youth should not be sentenced to court. However, they should encourage the offender to take accountability through restorative justice. I also wanted to highlight that the justice system does rely heavily on confinement when it should rely on rehabilitative methods, and confinement also deprives youth from parent involvement as well as peer involvement and can kind of deter their academic success. And for programs such as HOLA, art programs as well as sport programs, and everything that program has to offer has had a positive impact on youth. Therefore, I believe there should be a large implementation of sports due to sports being able to help one develop a team player mentality. And I also believe that there is a lot of unnecessary criminalization of adolescents. If we focus more on rehabilitative reforms, then I believe more youth would steer away from recommitting crime, or therefore committing crime in general.
Here are my references for this project, and thank you guys for watching.